You know, this ship is kind of a metaphor for so many things in 2026. Killing me. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we're here with another reaction to Invincible. We're on season 4, episode 2, which is called I'll Give You the Grand Tour. So the last episode was really just catching us up to where Earth has been since last season. We're seeing that Mark is going through yet another personal crisis as far as trying to figure out what to do, feeling the pressure of kind of being one of the only people or only heroes that can kind of manage the bigger threats while there's so much going on. And we also saw that Deb is kind of stepping into a new era of her life as well. She's making it serious with her boyfriend. And and Cecil is really panicking. He put the Guardians back together, back on the payroll, but we're seeing him be very stressed because he's realizing that the weight of trying to keep everything in order with the looming threat of the Viltrumites returning is just proving to be a lot and maybe too much for him. So we really just kind of stuck to Earth and the people on Earth last episode. From looking at the thumbnail, we're going to jump back into outer space. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's jump in. Just before I do though, a reminder to please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and that you can catch this reaction uncut on my Patreon. All right, out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. Ever just feel like you're a rock just floating listlessly in space? It's a hidden, what is it? Missile? Weapon? Ships? We'll never know. This isn't Earth, by the way. It's fine. Not a noxious gas. Oh, is this Viltrum? If this is Viltrum, then we've basically seen the entire population. Right? That's them. Well, now who's gonna carry the box? It's not very smart.
Why does he deserve this honor?
He made us one. He showed us our power.
Oh, he's the a-hole that wiped out your existence. Okay.
The betrayer.
Emperor Argyle was assassinated by the betrayer.
Who's the betrayer? Can we meet him?
Why was the purge a blessing?
Does she not have a name?
Think well before you answer. You've seen what failure brings.
What, the one sister?
The purge made us stronger.
Jeez, what the eugenics is going on here?
We cut the weak from our ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Carved away their cancer so the strong could stand free.
Sure. How's that going for you?
And it made us.
I knew it was coming. Ooh, looks like there's gonna be a starship at the end of the season behind the Invincible sign.
Go find food and shelter if you can. Return here tomorrow at sunrise prepared for combat.
If you can, damn!
At least 2 of you will die.
Oh.
So if you are smart, you will bring a weapon.
Viltrumites ain't that bright, huh? Yeah, beat each other up. Right, because we learned that a couple seasons ago that they get stronger as they get older, so this young guy is weaker than these two.
I didn't forget, Mother.
Oh. Maybe we can just wipe each other out, just all together? Well, here's hoping y'all can have another one. No. Oh! Yeah, like I said, maybe the whole family just needs to go. Is this young Nolan? Like, I know childbirth's a
You're
bitch.
as pathetic as he is. I hope to never see either of you again.
Oh, good.
You are an adult now. Act like one.
By what? Hemorrhaging?
Make Argyle proud, Nolan.
Nolan flashback. Damn, welp! Looks like he always had a bit of a soft spot. Like his daddy. Is Nolan's dad still alive, I wonder?
You will bring order. You will bring obedience.
Sure.
You will bring strength.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's dying. No. 2 down already. Oh, is this an illness maybe? They don't get, oh, maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they get sick on their planet. Oh, I forgot the little things came into the planet with the air. They are being poisoned. Nice. Deserved. And it's only affecting them. Ooh, biowarfare. there. Y'all thought she was smart, huh? Talk about that all for me again, all for us nonsense. Turns out this is all for you. Enjoy the poison.
Coward's weapon.
Is it a coward's weapon? It's working. Sorry, my brother. You can't fight DNA.
They contained a biological weapon specifically engineered
Big brain.
to attack.
Yeah. How'd they get the DNA? That's the question.
Our scientists are calling it the Scourge virus.
I like this virus.
We are searching for who did this, and we will make them regret their actions.
They're probably already dead.
Our enemies must never know our weakness.
So Nolan knows.
Your words, our deeds.
Okay. Let's see who's the grand leader? Oh, reveal later in the season, I guess. I love that we're getting Nolan history. I would feel sad for y'all, but karma. The way the peons didn't even do anything. So this is what actually took out a good chunk of them, is this virus. Outside of their, oh wow, truckloads. Whoever did this, gee, that's some G right there. Someone came in like, oh my God. Someone literally came in like a ninja and took y'all out the best way possible. They said, we ain't gonna fight you fist to fist. We gonna fight you up here with your own DNA. But the question is, how did they get the Viltrumite DNA to test with? Because that wouldn't have been a one and done. You okay there, Peepaw? Oh, well. Does Nolan? He survived? I mean, clearly he survived, but I'm wondering, I didn't think he got infected is I guess my point. Sorry, talking out loud. I mean, with any virus, there's always going to be someone who defeats the odds for whatever small strand of their DNA is different. Yee! Y'all don't burn bodies? I would like to know who this unsung hero is. She didn't make it. Damn, Nolan really is made of some different stuff, huh? He is built different to survive what's effectively not even a, well, yes, it's a pandemic, but it's like an epidemic as well.
It has finally slowed, but only
Dad.
because all remaining Viltrumites have been infected.
How many are dead?
The number is quite...
Give him the number.
I ask you twice.
Doesn't the voice of this supreme leader sound a bit like Cecil? Y'all just polluted the whole of space?
Any offspring will be inbred and deficient.
That's what happens.
Rebuild ourselves at any cost, and destroy those who thought they could extinguish us.
It's a nice dream.
Did you just make me feel bad about your planet of genocidal maniacs almost getting wiped out?
I felt nothing.
Barely holding your empire together. Why continue with the whole conquering new planets thing?
That part.
I wasn't sent to Earth just to conquer.
You were supposed to have kids.
Determine if there were alien species genetically compatible with our
Yep,
own.
they said they couldn't keep inbreeding.
Your mission, your real mission, was to bang your way across the galaxy?
Yeah.
The fact that Mark is almost as strong as me proves the human race is suitable for Viltrumite interbreeding.
No, thank you.
I liked it better when your people were just trying to murder everyone.
Right?
We don't exactly like mustaches like yours around here.
Damn.
Can you shave it? Never even thought to ask, honestly.
I would think he can. With his answer, though, he does not want to. His upper lip is probably translucent because it's not seen the light of day in centuries.
I guess you are.
Really? With company?
We just escaped and got back here now.
Wait.
We love honesty.
Hi.
Right? Hi. Before y'all get busy.
Ooh, I'm sorry.
I'm used to it. Do either of you have some clothes?
Right? Do I have to stand here naked? I don't think many people would mind, but
Did that person have a mustache?
no. You saw nothing.
You wonder if Alan is correct. If I truly am a Viltrumite.
I mean, he's going to have
The
questions.
thought crossed my mind.
Right?
Why have I never heard of you?
That's why I'm still alive.
Me. But our people call me...
You're the conqueror or the betrayer.
The betrayer.
Yes.
At your service.
But I will not join your cause or let you drag my sons into this.
You're already fighting the Viltrumites. They certainly want you dead.
My fight with my people is personal.
Is it? Is it all kind of the same thing?
Nolan made us a list of all these awesome Viltrumite weaknesses and weapons.
He's been, just coincidentally keeping track.
All we need to do is go get them.
Never that simple. What's up with the venture? Why didn't no one take it? It looks all, she just needs a little bit of a patch job, but she all right. Oh.
Welcome aboard the venture.
I knew it. I'm like, I heard Starfleet music. Are they allowed to do this?
We're the finest ship in the Coalition's Navy.
Are you,
At your service.
Mr. Picard? Oh, God.
Here on the venture, our guest accommodations are second to none.
In horrificness. Yes, I thought so. Do we want to know what those stains are?
I've slept in far worse places than...
So sorry, Nolan. You probably have super hearing too. Yeah. Oh, quick.
Alan and I will go in alone.
Right? Again? This ship is kind of a metaphor for so many things in 2026. It's killing me.
It's a weapon of impossible power. I couldn't take any chances an enemy of my people could find it.
Right.
But here you are, helping this enemy.
I feel like subconsciously you knew exactly what you were doing, Nolan. Nolan just needs a hug, guys. He just needs his wife and a hug. That's it.
I simply buried him alive under 1,000 tons of
Oh, simply.
Yes.
Great. He shouldn't be pissed at all.
It's been about 100 years, so
He's probably alive and pissed.
it could still...
Explode? Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
I believe in you, Nolan.
Even though I think Alan's the hardier of the two right now.
He's probably gonna look super gross and dried up, isn't he?
No.
I mean, dried up's okay.
He's gonna be jerky by the time we find him.
You sure? Oh, I hope it doesn't hit the ship.
You said he was dead.
I thought he was.
You thought wrong, Viltrumite.
I was about to say, do you know anything about his species? Maybe they live a long time like y'all. Also, space is a great place to preserve people. Damn, Nolan, you rusty. Okay, go Nolan. Show us your space agility, your anti-gravity agility.
Wait! What could you possibly say that I would want
We're trying to wipe out all the Viltrumites?
Now that you're alive, we came for your help instead.
Quick thinking, we love it.
He saved my life and is doing his best to help us, even if that means betraying his entire race and all of his history and heritage and all that.
Those are the mushy details.
You left me to die here.
That was the old
You seem
Nolan. Yeah, see, you're clearly okay. Didn't even lose weight.
In darkness.
Okay, you're right.
100 years.
Do you want to slap him?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I was a different person.
Viltrumites don't apologize.
Apologizing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Do they have food on your ship?
Oh, you do eat.
I've alerted Telescria to be ready for Space Racer's arrival.
Cool.
He hasn't agreed to join our cause yet.
I think he's going to do it.
He'll join.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks to me, he has every reason to hate my people.
That part.
A small planet, only a day away.
You don't say.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Nolan. Listen, it's your time soon.
We discovered a compound in their shells that makes us weak to physical injury.
And we're going to see how that happened?
Next time, here's an idea. I hold the rock and you manhandle the disgusting insects, okay?
His face. Nolan's developing a sense of humor.
Is this revenge?
They're
for
probably
something?
peeing.
What would make you say that?
Nolan will be more of a freak, If he really wants them to stop, he just has to pop his head in and be like, don't stop on my account.
I hope there might still be a few alive.
What happened to him?
All their water evaporated into space.
And whose fault was that?
Happens when you move someone's planet closer to their
There we go. I kind of like that they're also showing they're showing that Nolan is revisiting all the things he did in the past.
The Gildarians were too powerful for our reduced numbers. So we hired the Crash to destroy them for us.
I mean, wasn't direct.
And for that, I am more sorry than you can know.
This is just an apology tour, huh? Not a bad thing, though. Hopefully it'll make sure that Nolan will not backslide.
I'm Alan. He's a good guy now.
Oh.
We're both looking for battle beasts who help jailbreak us out of.
Why would he come home? Would he come home?
Our champion left this place long ago.
Yeah, I feel like he's not a going home kind of guy. Look at his face. He was like, really? No.
I just assumed the three of you were in a triadic relationship.
Don't kill them, Nolan. Don't kill them.
Take whichever one suits you.
Thank you. Nolan, don't kill them. You're doing so well. Okay, that's not bad. Whew. That's growth. Old Nolan would have put his fist through your chest.
Well, I had our scientists put that solar disk in place to freeze their planet solid. We didn't care about the other 2 planets in this system.
Damn. Did you have to land so aggressively?
Oh, that's a lot of gravity.
Okay, you didn't mean to. So are we gonna move the disc or, okay. Maybe not now, because that's gonna have a lot of very angry, whatever these guys are looking for anybody.
We need to.
Please, General Telia, allow me to handle this. I owe Nolan for an earlier misunderstanding.
Oh, really?
Target the solar disk and fire.
No, that's gonna destroy it. Possibly even their son.
I think I found one of your Viltrumite.
Let's go. I think we should go now. I love that they're showing how much slower the flying is. I don't know if you're gonna make it. That's slow going. No. Drop it. Never mind. Let's kiss. We don't have to fight. Alan, can you talk to these? Do they speak the English? Yikes. I'm really impressed with how they've changed the animation up for how Nolan and Alan are moving for the extra gravity. Okay, so I was about to say, can they use their legs to like jump? Yeah, I was wondering. No. He's not leaving you.
You shouldn't have come back. We need you for the war.
This is what happens, friend. This is real friends. You're gonna learn to love Nolan.
Okay, what now?
I don't know. Do y'all pray?
We die.
Okay. Alan doesn't die really easily, though. It's probably just gonna be you, Nolan. Yeah, well, I mean, I feel for Alan. Nolan deserves this. This is kind of a long time coming. Don't worry, Alan. Your girl gonna save you. She's like, I'm not losing. Clearly, she's very happy with you in many ways. Almost caught a toe. Almost caught a pinky toe.
Think we can agree that mistakes were made.
Mistakes?
And we'll all learn from them.
Mistakes. That's what you call almost getting us eaten.
I think we should drop him on the planet.
You're the good Viltrumite.
He is. The fact that you're still breathing.
Because I'm keeping command of your ship.
Period. I think you've had enough command. It is.
Who's with me?
Everybody.
I'm not upset about the Ragnars.
Really? Because the captain is still in hiding on his own ship.
As he should
I'm
be.
not upset anymore.
I like that. Let me amend. I was pissed.
We're a plague, responsible for almost wiping out your entire species.
And many others.
And we've done so much worse to so many others across the galaxy. I know this.
But
To us, it was our duty.
it's true. They were indoctrinated
And we did stop wars. We did make some planets better.
by your standards.
Yeah, but I kind of think that's what all conquerors tell us.
Exactly.
Look, your people could have gotten the message when that virus hit. They could
true.
have understood what it felt like for so many others when they first saw
And
Viltrumite.
instead, you doubled down.
But they didn't. They doubled down, turned the cruelty up to max, and kept on killing. But I also know it still hurts. So come here.
Yeah,
No,
come on.
I don't.
Bring it in, Nolan. You know you want it.
Before, you would have punched my head off.
Yeah, it's gross.
I still might.
Don't do it. He's not going to die anyway.
Not joining your war.
I know.
Sure. Cuckoo.
We will meet again tomorrow.
Thank you, Great Thetis.
I need these two to talk.
Nolan. This is why we need you, Nolan. And your son. Not just for your strength, but for what you represent.
You can get more people to turn.
Mark is already a part of this. The Viltrumites will come for him sooner or later.
That part.
It doesn't matter. I can't go back.
Don't be a coward, Nolan.
We must all face judgment for the evils of our past.
That's how you truly change.
Let me lead by example.
You gonna tell everybody your true identity?
My greatest sin.
You developed the virus, didn't you?
The Scourge virus.
I told you they needed the blood from somewhere.
Proved. If released, not a single
Including
Viltrumite
you.
will survive its wrath this time.
How do you have this?
Come on,
Because
Nolan.
I was the one who
Yeah,
created
2 and 2, babes.
Do you know what you did?
He does.
How many suffered and died? You brought us to the edge of extinction.
That was the point.
You killed billions.
Your dad?
Feel I should die, then act. I would not blame you.
Yeah. Facing his sins.
Why would you do
You know
such a
why,
thing
Nolan.
after you already betrayed us?
It wasn't enough.
So I thought without his cruel leadership.
Exactly. He
our
tried
people would
the
change.
less bloody way.
Then I had no choice but to act again.
Promise me that this virus is a final resort.
I think that's what he thought.
Promise me.
I don't think he wants to die.
Only if I see no other way to subdue the Empire.
What effect is it going to have on the half-Viltrumites, I wonder?
Where are you going?
Home?
To get my son.
Son? Sons? You have 2. But I guess Mark is the one that...
Was that?
I kind of forgot about them. Yeah, by the way, Nolan's here. Oh, fear and shame in his face. That's a different expression.
I have failed you.
Not as much as your hairline
My
has.
arrogance led me to be defeated by the boy and his witch.
Yep.
Make my death painful so others may learn and grow stronger from it.
We can't afford to kill you anymore.
You have work to do yet.
Okay, we have a face. I'm trying to think if I've seen that face before. I can't think of it right now if we have or not. I have questions though. Why is he younger, right? Because I'm assuming, I mean, mind you, maybe they got die on Viltrum, but did we not learn that the older people were stronger? So why would someone who's younger be, I mean, it doesn't mean he's not stronger, I guess, or maybe a better fighter. I don't know. Some questions about that, Mr. Throg. But, or maybe he's just the one who's got the most brains to run things, I guess. But okay, that was a really cool episode. I like this one. I'm not gonna lie, kind of enjoyed it a bit more than episode 1. But again, like I said, I find Nolan's story at the moment far more fascinating. And maybe it's because he's coming from another end of the spectrum. Like Mark's is very much the starting out, like growing into himself journey, whereas Nolan's is the discovery of himself. And maybe it's because, you know, I'm older. I'm not like, you know, in that discovery phase of my life anymore. I think I resonate a bit more with Nolan's type of story. But either way, coming back to this episode, I think the main things that I really enjoyed about it was, you know, again, I'm loving seeing Nolan's evolution, you know, the fact that he's, and I say evolution, but if you've watched my previous reactions to previous seasons, you know that I've been saying for a while that Nolan was never really ever the cold-blooded killer. Like, did he do a lot of horrible things? Absolutely. Are his hands stained red forever? Absolutely. However, this episode giving us that flashback of Nolan as a kid, well, not a kid, but when he was just starting out in the place where Mark is kind of right now, we see that, you know, he knows how to spew the words. He knows how to, you know, repeat the rhetoric. You know, he knows the steps to take, but it never really took root in here. It was never Nolan. And even back then, you know, when he was standing behind that little girl and threatening her to say what needed to be said for the education, you know, at that point, by the way, when I was watching, I didn't realize it was young Nolan until it kind of kicked in a little bit later. But I don't think he was ever going to really hurt, or at least he would have hurt her, but not like seriously. I realize now that his being like, you know, the consequences for failure, it really was more of, I don't want to see you hurt more than you're gonna clearly be hurt. So you need to get this stuff right, because I know how much it's gonna hurt if you don't. And so, you know, between that and then of course having the fight with his parents, his mom who clearly hated him, I I say that, but maybe it's just, I can't even imagine how against nature it is for a mother, especially, to willingly harm her child that she carried in her body. And I'm assuming Viltrumites have babies like everyone else, but carried in her body and birthed and had to nurse. And, because Viltrumites are babies. We see that they come out as babies. Like, they don't come out like, like deer or giraffes where they start walking immediately and are ready to go. Like, there would have been years of them being vulnerable and needing care. And I'm assuming that Nolan's mother and father were primary caretakers for Mark during that time. So to do that and then have to somehow flip a switch and then start beating the ever-living crap out of your kid and desensitizing yourself to the point where you're willing to kill them if necessary is so completely contrary to pretty much every species that we as humans in the real world know, that, I can only imagine what that would have done to Nolan's mother. And it looks like they only ever had Nolan. And so, I don't know, again, that's a whole other sub story, but just looking at that, the fact that she seemed to have more vitriol and vim for beating Nolan than his dad did, again, that might have just been a subset or not a subset, like a side effect, I should say, of what she had to do to get to the point to even be able to hurt Nolan after doing so much to take care of him, right? And again, maybe they don't. Maybe, we saw a lot of their servant people, the purple people. Maybe they were the ones who do the caregiving for the kids so that there's no attachment formed. Who knows? But I wouldn't mind, honestly, not that we need to see it, but I would love to almost see like a mini series about Viltrum and like how things worked. I would love to see before and after the great purge and the switch into the totalitarian environment. But anyway, even from that fight, coming back to my point, we see that, Nolan, I very much feel like he was holding back, right? Like, his parents were stronger than him, obviously, but I still feel like he was holding his punches. I still feel like he was still in his heart, like, you're my parents though. Like, I don't want to hurt you, right? I know I'm supposed to. I know it's what I have to do, but I don't want to, right? That's not what I really want to do. And why? Because he cared for them, because his instinct was to love and protect them. And so we see that he probably got that from his father, because we see that when the mother was about to punch Nolan to another dimension, it was the father that stopped her and said, like, he's had enough. He fought well, like, again, protecting Nolan in the only way he could. And she was the one who stalked off and is like, oh, you're both weak. You both make me sick, right? So again, showing that there was a softness that Nolan clearly experienced from his father growing up, despite their very hard and dominant world. And again, later on, when Nolan finds out the truth about what happened with the virus, it's who did he flash to, right? We don't see Nolan have a lot of trauma. This is the first time we've really seen trauma for Nolan. And of all the things, it was seeing billions of his people die, which would be traumatic no matter what, but then his dad, right? We don't know if his mom died. I'm assuming she probably did. Maybe he never saw her, but that vision of seeing his dad dead, it clearly left a very deep wound in him, because like I said, I think that's the one person that showed him any form of kindness, love, or mercy as much as one could be shown in that world, right? So that would have really resonated with Nolan. So anyway, seeing that reinforced what I said in previous seasons, that Nolan was never really about the ministry. He walked the walk, he talked the talk, because that was what he needed to do to survive, but it never took hold. And I love that this experience now is helping to slowly but surely wash away those years of calluses and those years of desensitization that he had to put himself through to do what he needed to do to survive, and get in touch with the real Nolan that's always been there, the Nolan that allowed Debbie to talk him into, being kind and soft and appreciating the moments with Mark of fatherhood that should have been, things he was never raised with. And, what in the end stopped him from killing Mark back in season 1 and all these other things, right? That allowed him to be as a loving and protective father as for the short amount of time he could for Oliver. So, again, I just like that this journey that they're putting Nolan on, like right now, yes, it's for the greater good of protecting his son. So he's claiming. But Nolan, just like the betrayer, his heart was never in it. He knew that what Viltrum was doing was too much. Like this was not about survival anymore. This was about a completely different thing that didn't feel right. And between him having to go on, like I called it, the apology tour in the episode, him having to revisit the sites of his crimes, like he clearly wrote about it anyways in his books, but to actually physically go back and see it and smell it and feel it and actually have to be in that space where the memories would be far more vivid, that's a lot considering that now he's no longer trying to shield his emotions from, you know, what he did, right? When he first came there, he would have still been in the act of trying to desensitize himself and detach himself, but now he's fully present. And as I said, he's no longer trying to do that. So you see it, he's feeling the weight of what he did, the way he was explained to Alan what he did each time, talking about it, the way that he's not saying, like, you know, in the beginning, everything was very matter of fact and very, you know, succinct. And now you hear him kind of hesitating and being slow about explaining it, because even now he's hearing it and really realizing like, oh my God, like what I did was actually pretty horrific. What we did here was awful. What we're doing, you know, like he always knew it, but he's now actually allowing himself to process it. And he couldn't do that before, because he wouldn't have been able to survive, right? So anyway, I really like that they're doing that, because despite him saying, you know, I'm not joining the cause, I'm not joining the war, I'm not part of it, and the temptation there would be for him to backslide into that shell that he was in for so many centuries, doing this is a good way to, like I said, wake up the real Nolan, but also reactivate his conscience and reactivate the things that would keep him from backsliding into that place again. And just being able to, you know, just have that very real visceral view of the consequences of his actions, I think is absolutely necessary for him to continue growing, right? So anyway, I really like that they did that. And, you know, by him going through and apologizing and taking accountability, that's another thing too, because old Nolan would never have apologized, even though he knew it was the right thing to do. And that's how he felt. He did feel sorry. But I love that they're genuine apologies as well. That's why, what's his name? Speed Racer, Doom Racer, whatever it's called. That's why he actually listened to Nolan, right? Because empty apologies don't have effect on people. He could see that Nolan was genuinely sorry. And I've said this in other reactions, but I've said that when it comes to feeling sorry to someone, having an apology, genuine remorse, when someone is genuinely remorseful for something, there's a sadness about them that is very hard for most people to resist, so to speak, right? Like you could be incredibly angry and incredibly hateful towards somebody who's done something to you, but if they come to you with extreme remorse, like true remorse, like to their bones, they are very, very sorry. I don't have to explain it. It's like it radiates off of them, and it's like the perfect counter to those negative emotions. It's very hard to maintain the anger or the hurt or the pain or the, you know, whatever you were feeling when you're in the face of that true remorse. And that's why a lot of times, even if it doesn't necessarily mean y'all gonna become kumbayaing and being besties after that, but it takes a lot of the wind out of your sails when it comes to wanting revenge or those types of things. Anyway, I think that Nolan's genuinely feeling remorseful is radiating to the people he's apologizing to. And that's why people who have every reason to never trust or even give Nolan a chance to speak are kind of like, well, oh, damn, okay, he actually is sorry. All right, okay, I don't know what to do with this, but I don't really want to fight you anymore either. You know what I mean? So anyway, this is really good for Nolan. I love that it's giving that development for him and what he's going to need, because, you know, there is going to be some more demons for him to face at some point. And that kind of comes back to when he came and talked to, when he came back to the planet and talked to the betrayer. And, you know, the betrayer is the only person really who can understand where Nolan's coming from right now and his resistance to join the cause. And, you know, Alan articulated it well, saying like, it's not easy. Like, you know, intellectually why this has to happen, but it doesn't change the fact that these are your people. That is your history. That is your connection to your existence. Not all of it, well, in his case, probably 99%, but not all of it was bad, you know, for him, probably, as far as his memories and the way he feels about it. But it's also like, to condemn all of Viltrum and what they are, it's kind of impossible for Nolan not to take that as, am I not condemning myself as well? Because he's Viltrumite through and through. So that's another part that's really hard, because like for him to have a hatred for that, does that not mean he has to hate himself? And that's not a fun place to be for anyone. So there's a lot there, and I could delve into that as a whole side topic, but I've already rambled enough. But yeah, so, you know, he's kind of struggling with what that means. And honestly, the very real feeling that it's not fun to admit that your species sucks. No one wants to be like, yeah, our species is actually trash, you know? So anyways, when he has that conversation with the betrayer, and the betrayer says like, you know, this is a bigger than just, you know, these feelings you're having. Like, your son right now is like, he's fighting for Earth. He doesn't want this to happen. Like, he's already joined our cause, even though he knows it's condemning a side of his family or a side of his lineage he's not even familiar with. Like, you're gonna have to deal with this at some point. And we hear Nolan being like, I can't go back to Earth. Earth, right? And it's not even so much the people of Earth, because obviously he's not happy about that. But he's been there. Like, he's already done a couple of planets now and people that he's wronged. So it's not really that he's too scared of that. And really, are humans a threat to him in any way? No. Like, he could wipe them all out if he wanted to. What he really is not able to say yet is that he doesn't want to go back to face Deb. Right? He's already talked to Mark. He knows him and Mark are able to talk at this point, but it's Deb, right? His time in prison made him really start to think about what he really cared about. And as I said before, Nolan didn't really have love growing up. The closest semblance he had was his father. And, you know, clearly the Viltrumite relationships were not exactly what you'd call standard. So his real first experience with love was with Deb. And I think that's the other reason why it's imprinted so deeply on him. And I've already said in the last episode, that's his soulmate. So, you know, that's really what he is scared of, because that is the one person, like, obviously he feels sorry to all these people he wronged and stuff like that, but those are, you know, whatever. He don't really care about them like that. But Deb and Mark, by extension, they're the only people that can truly rip Nolan's heart out. Like, they're the ones who can deal a fatal blow to Nolan at this point, because he loves them very, very much. Deb especially, fiercely. So that's what he's scared to go back to Earth and face, is that he knows he wronged her. He knows he did so much. He said so many horrible things. He lied, he betrayed, and, you know, then, you know, had a kid with another woman. Like, he did a lot. And he's scared that if he goes back and faces her, that it means that door is forever shut. And I think in the back of his mind, he's thinking it already is, but, you know, it's one thing to think and not really know than to actually face it and find out. So that's really what he's scared of. And, you know, he says that, like, I can't go back. And then, you know, that's what leads to the betrayer showing that he was, in fact, the person who created the Scourge virus and sent it to Viltrum. And that's his sin. Like that. So looking at Nolan is kind of his atoning, is admitting that he did it and looking at a Viltrumite who experienced it and lived through it and being like, yeah, so that was me. That was me. And, you know, his explanations around it, you know, the arguments, all of it was so well written in the sense of like, yeah, like you understand why he was like, yeah, I thought that if I killed one person, it would be enough to end this, but it actually made it worse. And so I felt like I had to be the one to fix it. And the only way you could think of fixing it was to wipe them all out. Was it the only alternative? Probably not. But he clearly had his own very extreme viewpoints as well at that time. And he did this thing, you know, and as I said at the beginning of the episode, I knew it had to be a Viltrumite, probably the betrayer, because who else would have access, unlimited access to Viltrumite DNA to test on, to figure out how to make a bioweapon specifically for them, right? So anyway, but obviously, despite the fact that the betrayer felt like he had to do it, it didn't mean that he felt good about it. He knew that there were children and innocents that didn't deserve to pay the price for his actions and for this virus, but he couldn't think of another way that was going to save the rest of the universe effectively, right? So yeah, really good stuff there, good writing, very good understanding, you know, and I love, you know, that him and Nolan kind of had to talk out like their reasoning behind what that was about. And as far as the morality of it, I really couldn't tell you what the right thing is to do. As I said in the episode, I wasn't overly moved by the whole backstory of what happened to the Viltrumites, in the sense of I felt sorry to the kids, of course, you know, the people had no choice in the matter, but I also felt like that's karma. Like they've done so much worse. And, you know, like exactly what he said to the betrayer said to Nolan, like, yeah, billions on Viltrum died, but look how many other billion, possibly trillions they've killed, you know, out there. Like, this is not out of nowhere. This was not an unwarranted attack. This was, quite frankly, karmic. And it came from me. It's like, it didn't even come from anyone else. Like, I did it. The call came from inside the house. So anyway, very interesting, very good moral discussions and discussions around warfare and, you know, right and wrong when it comes to those types of things in this episode. But, you know, the real highlights for me, like I said, was just watching the growth of Nolan. And even at the end, letting Alan give him a little bit of a side hug, you know, because like you said, I love how Alan's like, see, like if this had been back in season 1, you would have punched my head off. Like, we're growing, you're getting soft. I love this, like in the right ways, right? And so, yeah, I thought that was a really good episode as far as getting to know them a bit better. There wasn't much on Alan that we needed to care about. Like, he got his girl back. We love that. And yeah, just basically that they're starting to slowly but surely put things together in, you know, figuring out how they're going to try to attempt to take out what's left of the Viltrumites. Because like Nolan said, like what we're doing right now will make a dent. But even though there's only like less than 50, they're some of the oldest and strongest. So it's not even like it's youngins, right? If you got no youngins left, it's pretty much the strongest of the strong and the most ruthless of the ruthless that are left. So they're not going to be easy to take down, even with what we have. And so we'll see. I think, he's being realistic, but I also think, that it doesn't have to be just them, right? It's got to be a combined effort of many to take out what's left. And so, yeah, we'll have to see how that goes when it comes to that time. But yeah, those are the highlights of the episode that I really enjoyed. It's interesting what they keep showing us with Viltrum. I'm kind of trying to figure out what's going on with this Thrag and what's going to go down with what's his name? The guy who came back. Why did his name slip out of my head again now? But the one who came back and asked to be killed, right? Because we already found out from his last season that he is a little bit like Nolan if Nolan had gotten more battle hardened and turned and called an animal, right? Like he doesn't really like this life either, but he's also, too down for the cause to turn back. So yeah, I'm very interested to see how this is going to kind of play out through the rest of the season. And like I said, I'm still looking forward to, I do hope, like we heard at the end of the episode that Nolan's planning to go back to get his son. Why he's not mentioning Oliver, I'm not sure, but maybe it's because him and Oliver had less of a connection. But it'll be interesting to see what happens if he does in fact end up back on Earth. So I'm looking forward to it. But a great episode. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed watching along. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.